Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 3200 podcast, and this is Pink Ike. Now, as I've been doing this entire month of October, I want to do it again. We are this month. I am an ambassador for Real Men Wear Pink. What Real Men Wear Pink is, if you never heard of it, is we're taking money, we're collecting money, and we're trying to raise money for breast cancer awareness. And the money is going straight to the American Cancer Society, which we're going to help women travel uh, to get their operations and to go through their stuff. It's going to help them travel, pay for hotel expensive, help pay for wigs, and so much more to help the whole thing go a little bit easier for the ladies dealing with breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Month. Hope you support Real Men Wear Pink. Be looking in the comments. I'm going to add the link right there if you want to donate. Asking for anything. I'm trying to raise up. My personal goal is to raise 2,500. You can help me hit that goal. Be looking for the link in the comments there. Again, that's Real Men Wear Pink. Hey, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, the 3200, you know how we connect. 3200 Magnolia was the address. Beaumont, Texas, had to do it like that. Wanna welcome everybody to the podcast. Plenty stories that we gotta explore. From the views of husbands, fathers, entrepreneurs, baby fathers and workers. I know this though for certain. You gon' laugh, have a good time till your side hurting. 3200, but you already know this. You know it. Couple of brothers hard working and focused. Let's go. Intellectual, entertaining for show. 32 double O, let's go. 3200, but you already know this. Couple of brothers hard working and focused. Intellectual, entertaining for show. 32 double O, let's go. Hey, yeah, make sure that you turn it up. Get the talking, ain't no topic that we do not discuss. Yeah, everything and nothing at the same time. Good vibes, tune in, cause you know it's going down. 3200.
All right. Welcome to the 3200 podcast. And I'm a little nervous. I don't know. I'm never nervous on these things. I'm a little nervous today. Probably because it's a subject matter, man. Maybe it's a subject matter, man. I'm Pink Ike, man. I got my bro ABC Johnson in the house. How you doing today, Jay?
Hey, we good, baby. Ain't nothing. Get out your feelings.
All right. Then we got big brother Leo in the house. What's happening with you today, Leo?
Hey there, I'm good.
Cousin Chris is here again with us today. What's happening, Cousin Chris? All right, he says hello. All right, and then, man, we've got some special guests with us. I'm gonna ask them to go ahead, introduce themselves, and then also go ahead, tell us a little bit. Tell us where you're from, and then also all of these, all the ladies have their own platform there. We really want you to go and check out their stuff too. So go ahead, promote your platform too. We'll start with Earthy.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're great.
Okay. I'm Earthy. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse almost 20 years. I work in behavioral medicine as well as forensics, and I am from Norfolk, Virginia. I'm done.
All right. Hi. Hi. My name is Sylvada, and I am from Texas, but resides in Virginia now. It's funny that she says she's a nurse. I am a nursing student. So waited. Yeah, I waited till I got 46 years old to go back to school, but hey, it's never too late. I also have a podcast called Come Through with Sylvada, where we talk about any and everything. Nothing is off the table. So hope to see you over there someday watching. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Naira Renee, and I am the host of Chit Chat with Naira. It is a podcast based around anything and everything you could think of that you experience as an entrepreneur. And like I tell people, I like to live on that blurred line between personal and business. And for more information on me and everything else I'm affiliated with, you can go over to www.nairarenee.com.
Right. All right. right. So let's welcome the ladies. Welcome the ladies. All right. All right. So today, hot topic, man. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous about this because I don't know how it's going to come off. I think the men can relate to me. Like, sometimes our intent is to say something good, but we say the wrong thing and we get chewed out. And I'm expecting that to happen to me tonight. So we're talking about the stereotype, the myth of the stereotype, the angry Black woman. So I guess my first question to we'll start with the ladies, and then gentlemen, if y'all want to answer too, we'll let you answer. But the first question I guess I would have is, where do you believe that this stereotype comes from? Any of the women?
I would say insecurities. Like that would be the one thing I would have to say. It would be insecurities. A lot of the stereotypes come from insecurities. And it's so funny because, like, as a Black woman, if we are assertive at work or in a meeting or something, oh, we're angry. Oh, what man hurt us? But if a white woman was to do the same thing at work, oh, she's standing up for herself. She's stern. She doesn't play. And I'm sure we all have heard that before. Like, that whole like difference is kind of like if even we could take it to entertainment. If a Black actress has to play this angry woman that's super in charge and don't take no stuff, oh, she only get those roles because she's like that in real life. But if a woman of another skin tone plays a role where she's crazy, hiding under beds and all kind of stuff, wow, she played that role good. She deserves every award available for it. So I do believe that it comes from an insecurity. I think a lot of men are afraid of Black women because they know we not gonna take no crap. So sometimes they like, okay, let me go somewhere where I could really take charge and not have to like stand on everything that I want to come along with being in that position to be in charge. So yeah, that's what I think.
I agree that it is kind of rooted in insecurity and maybe a little bit of fear. I've never actually heard that term outside of a professional workspace anyway. So I don't even think it's a term that was generated within our culture. I do certainly believe that came from, people in the workplace that don't look like us when we are just being assertive, or either we are setting professional boundaries. So as far as where I would love to know. And unfortunately, these kinds of conversations only happen with people that look like us. But I would love to know, what exactly does it mean to be an angry Black woman? Because anger can show up as many things. And so the people that actually use that term, I would love to know, what is it about that person's presentation that makes you say that is what they are presenting as?
I would say that I get the question and I get what both of the women are saying, but I think it comes from pain, because I'm not going to deny that I have been angry and I'm a Black woman, but my anger comes from pain, meaning being mistreated. And I'm gonna have to say mistreated by Black men. I've never dated outside of my culture. I've only dated Black men. And what anger, now I'm not out there gyrating around, hitting people, acting crazy or anything like that. But I can speak up and say that I'm very outspoken. I have been angry behind the way Black men treat Black women. Meaning, we can preach all day long about don't cheat, get a job, can you help me with the kids, can you stop hanging out with the guys so much and let's spend quality time with me, whatever the situation is, and we'll beg and we'll pray just to do right. And then he'll go over to a Becky or a whoever, and then you're looking like, I asked you to do that and you call me controlling. I asked you to do that and I'm a problem. I'm a nagger. So that's, for me, where the anger comes from. When I hear angry Black woman, I want people to make sure they understand why she's angry.
All right, fellas, I told y'all be ready. And look, we got challenged 3 times with 3 separate questions, man. So I hope you're ready there. She wants to know why men are mistreating women, and that's why they're angry. Naira, she said, what did you say, Naira? You said something about the men there. You said I was trying to write them down. Yeah. I was throwing the bullets. I was like, oh.
that it comes from insecurities and not wanting to actually be able to step up to have that type of control that they tend to get from women that don't look like the beautiful women you have on your podcast with you right now. So
And then Earthy said that look, I'm so nervous tonight. Earthy wants to know where she pretty much threw the question back at us and saying why do we consider black women angry there? So I'll let one of you answer it before I give the wrong answer and get chewed out.
I'll start with it. First, I like y'all to know that I'm not scared. I'm not scared of my.
That's what she said. She said we were scared of black.
She's not home right now.
Yeah, I said it. But okay, give me the first one. What was the first one again?
Well, Naira said that black men were scared of
insecurity.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's crazy because you even see it on to me, male to male. You know what I mean? A lot of these things that's coming up in America where they say the racism and everything else. If you really look into the depth of it, you look at America was built for the white man. The white man had this and that, and it was easy for him to get this and that. But now it's harder. So, they're like, oh, they're taking our jobs, so they're doing this and stuff. So I agree. There's some insecurity when it comes into that. Some people throw a kind of religious feel into it. You know what I mean? I see a lot of guys be like, oh, she's supposed to be at home or do this and stuff like that. Well, she probably would be doing those or having that type of role if he was actually doing his role. So I can see the insecurities and stuff like that. I can understand that. It's funny. A woman will let a man be a man when a man is actually being a man. She won't have to ask him to do all that. And that comes into maturity and growth. And sometimes you just got to meet the person when they hit that time level and at that time. Even though I know Jonathan gonna say something totally opposite of what I'm saying because he got that big old smile on his face. But we'll go to the next question because I want to get mine out of the way before Jonathan talks.
Like I want to disagree with Tyra. I really Naira. I want to disagree with Naira. But I can't because we all me, Leo, and Chris was at Buffalo Wild Wings a couple weekends ago, and there was a young lady who was looking angry. We were all just scared to even ask her for a drink because she was walking around looking pissed off. So there is a fear. But I want to say for a lot of men, for a lot of men, I want to say that I don't think that fear exists as much as you think it would. I think a lot of black men. I want to be careful. So I think a lot of black men aren't scared because they've seen it growing up. Like we've seen a strong woman and we've seen an assertive woman growing up in our mother, and we've seen that in our grandmother and our aunts. We've seen that. So we're used to that. Like my wife, when we got together, she was an angry black woman. It didn't bother me at all. That wasn't one thing for me to leave. But I have heard men come through with saying there. I had heard men that completely won't date black women because of just that, like you said, just because of that fear, that assertiveness, and that insecurity thing. So I wouldn't say all men, but I would say that it does exist there.
So the fear thing was the second question, right?
That was the first question. I think
Well, I like to add on to the fear thing. I think, like you said, a lot of times, and like the young lady referred to, is like a lot of times we're used to, our culture is used to it, so you don't hear it coming from us. What they might call angry or whatever, we like that's grandma. You know what I mean? That's auntie. That's mama. So
Yeah, it's usually
It
these.
would be interesting to ask somebody from another culture.
It's
Why
usually
do
the
they see
urban
it?
black man, the black man that doesn't grow up in the hood or grow up in hard times that he can't deal with it all. Like, I got to go pick up Becky because this is too much. It's too much. And then Earthy, she was saying she wanted to know why do we feel like black women are angry.
I think like she said, I think other cultures do, but I don't feel like like me, I don't feel like I do. But our family is a matriarch.
Mhm.
Was our grandma that passed on, Grandma Lou, was the head of our family, for a long time until she passed. And then now is the shame to say this, my little sister Christine. She's more the matriarch of. It's funny because even my father and my aunts who's older, and even me, everybody older than she tell us to do something and we do it. She's like, y'all gonna come for Thanksgiving, you gonna bring corn, you gonna bring this, you don't want you know what I mean? And we do it, and be like, all right, So it's interesting. It'd be interesting to ask another culture why and where does that come from. But I agree with Earthy. I don't feel like it comes from us.
Yeah,
Feel like
I think
I have to disagree with you guys. I've
go ahead.
never, in 46 years of being on this earth, ever heard a white man or Hispanic man, any other culture, speak on angry black women outside of TV. But I've always heard black men, always heard black men describe us
might hear
as
us
angry.
say it like when we drinking at the club or whatever. You know what I mean? He's so
I
angry.
won't lie.
But
Here-
at the office,
Yeah.
at the office, they'll come and because they try to like have us like coax y'all or whatever. Oh, I can't talk to her over there because the way she act. Leo, can you go? And I'll be like,
And may
No,
I say,
you
may
can't.
I say something? May I say something as well? It may not necessarily be the verbiage. They may not necessarily say, my name is Tawny, by the way. They may not necessarily say Tawny is an angry black woman, but they can say Tawny is difficult to work with. Tawny is hostile.
Yes.
Tawny. So
Yes.
that is what I mean, that particular stereotype exists in the workplace. I have never necessarily heard it outside of the workplace. But like I said, I'm interested in knowing why does it have to be named anger? Because anger shows up as a lot of things. If a woman is frustrated, if she's hurting, if she's just bewildered, if she's tired, and that response can come out and it makes other people say that she's angry. And when we get stereotyped as an angry black woman, it's usually something against our character versus if I'm angry, I am responding to an external stimuli. This man just hit my car. I have a right to respond that way without being looked at as an angry black woman. That is something that generally happens to us externally. We respond to it, but we're not allowed to be human. We're not allowed to have human emotions because anytime that a black woman expresses extreme emotion, now we're the angry black woman in the room. And and someone said it before, I have heard it used as a reason for people to date people that are not African American. So I've heard it so much, but I don't think that there is reverence given to our experiences here on earth, the frustration that we have caring for the homes, caring for the children. When we are a wife and mother, we don't get to clock out. So we're at work and then we come home for part 2 of our day. So I think sometimes it's just frustration that people don't understand. It can be hurt from what people don't understand, from what the young lady was saying, being hurt from relationships and not being able to express yourself in that relationship because there may be an emotional disconnect. So now I'm frustrated because I can't even tell my partner the things that I'm going through. So yes, from day to day, that's going to show up in your life as being bitter, as being frustrated, and then you get labeled as the angry black woman.
All right, Mr. Terry put a comment up there. Mr. Terry, you might want to take your last name off of there, but you might get attacked there. But he says, I believe a lot of angry black ladies come from angry black homes. There, do y'all agree or disagree?
I
can agree with
disagree. I disagree.
I'm in between on it. I could see it both ways.
I think what
I
people
can see
are
it,
what
yeah.
people are naming as anger, which may not necessarily be anger, but I do understand that is the title that they're giving it. But behavior is learned. So, and that's for everybody. Behavior is learned. Children mimic what they see in the home. So, if mom is always yelling and fussing at dad, then maybe the child is growing up and doesn't know that that's not an appropriate way to interact with your spouse. So, I can see that. It may not necessarily be anger as the emotion, but certainly behavior is learned.
Ms. Saveda, you said you disagree there.
I disagree. And this is only because I grew up in an alcoholic home. I grew up where my mom was abused by her husband. You name it. So here I am today. I've never drank. I never did any drugs. I've never been in an abusive relationship. So I think that now I'm not saying all homes, but I think some homes come into some of us do mimic what we see, but we have to be careful with that because as adults we can make our decision for ourselves. Now, like my siblings, they all drank. Some of them did drugs. But I made a choice, even when I birthed my children, that's not the lifestyle that I wanted for my children nor myself. So we have to, that's the only reason why I disagree. What she said is actually correct, but it's like, it's not in every home. I have to say, I have been called angry by my by my daughter's father. My youngest is 22. But at the same time, now that him and I are in a better place so many years later, and he has accepted his responsibility, why was I angry? So was I to sit there and allow you to lie and cheat? Was I supposed to say, oh, sweetie, that's fine. Go ahead, cheat, get all the punani you want? Of course not. I don't think no black woman or no woman period is going to be like, it's going to take her man lying and cheating so calmly. So for him, I was an angry black woman. You know what I mean? But he wasn't saying I was out there screwing you said we can cuss, right? And I had stopped cussing. But he was fucking out of both draw legs, you know, so at that time, 22 years ago. So of course I was angry. But now today, 22 years later, he's married. And at the show I just did on my show, I just told his wife, I appreciate you because you made him a better man. You know what I'm saying? So it just wasn't my season with him. So that's an example.
So I think, go ahead. What's that?
And I definitely agree with both of them. And we could actually take it a little deeper because like a lot of men, well, I won't say a lot of men, maybe, okay, just the nigga that I divorced. We just gonna say it like that, okay? He was very abusive. And I remember him telling me that he saw his mom get abused. So I could see how like patterns are learned. Like in his eyes, he felt like you were supposed to put your hands on a woman to make her stay. So, and arguing and stuff was a thing. So he was aroused by the quote unquote stereotype of an angry black woman. Crazy as hell. So luckily I'm out of that situation. But the point I'm saying is I could totally understand like how people could be angry coming from homes, but a lot of men, and I hate to keep making it a battle of a sexist thing, but a lot of men, they learn behavior, how not to think it's okay to treat a black woman any kind of way. Honestly, because either they saw their moms get mistreated and she stuck it out, or their moms have coddled them so much to where they feel like a woman is supposed to, like, in a way, treat them like they son in a certain sense. Like, I feel like that's a lot of the problem too. And when we do be assertive and say, no, you are going to have to stand up and meet me where I'm at, I'm not settling, we come off as being angry because they was never forced to man up in their upbringing anyway.
Oh man.
The awkward silence.
So I got different feelings about the selling. I'm gonna be the outspoken one that's probably gonna get talked too much and get in trouble. That's my MO. So even the settling thing that Naira, I think I don't think it's like a settled thing for men or women. And this is gonna probably go all the way off topic, but I think for men, I think it's something that you have to give up. Like I can't come in here with all these demands and expect every demand to be met. And same thing, you can't come in to and make all these demands and think that all your demands are going to get met. We're gonna bump heads somewhere. I think there's got to be some understanding in any relationship between. Now, you said he was hit, and that's totally. I'm glad you got out of that situation. If he was being abusive like that, I'm glad you got out that thing. That's no excuse for him. But in any other instance, I would say, other than that, I would say that it's not as much as settling as coming to understanding. Like, okay, you need this, I need to give this up, or to make everything a happy home. I don't know. The men's not going to agree with me. They're going to keep themselves. Go ahead.
It's all about expectations. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But when I don't know, the insecurity thing, it kind of ties up with the culture thing to me. I don't think us as a black man, we're insecure or we're afraid because we can talk to our women. Now we might not say the wrong thing, or we might say it in the wrong tone. So I've cut hair in barbershop. I've cut white, Mexican, black, and I've heard them complain about black women. But, at the same instance, I have to tell them, you're an ordinary person. We're extraordinary. That's why it seems like we're extra all the time. But that's just how I feel about it. I mean, I'll go more in detail here in a little bit. I'll let you get this coming out.
All right. Faith Love, she said, as a black woman, I can admit that there are situations when my anger was unnecessary or over the top. So we have to be accountable to our reactions to unfavorable circumstances. If I got any thoughts on that?
The truth.
That's pretty common. Every person on the face of the earth, every race, every religion, creed, everyone experiences anger. So I mean, there's nothing to dispute about that. Everybody experiences anger. There are situations where everybody may overreact, and that's okay. That's something that's very normal, and it's not just for black women. That's for everybody. So the comment is.
So that kind of brought up one of my questions I was going to ask a little bit later, but I'll bring it up now because it kind of pertains to the same thing. Like men, when we argue, I can argue with Jonathan and Lee. I've been doing it for 40 years now. I've been arguing with them, but I can argue with them, and the next day we be cool. I give them a bro hug or whatever. But I can argue with a lady. I can argue with my wife or one of my daughters or whatever, and that argument is going to last 6 months out.
You better know it.
So what is it? Why do, and it's not just a black women thing. That's not a black women thing. I think all women does it. But why is it that women, it's so hard for women to let it go?
Because maybe it was never talked about and worked through. Just because you're silent doesn't mean that the problem no longer exists. We can argue today, but if we don't actually talk about what the disagreement was, then the problem is still going to be there when we wake up in the morning, and I'm still going to get with you in the morning when I see you. So you have to be able to work through the problem, or it's not going to go anywhere. That's why it's still there months later, because you never talked about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bro, come on, y'all feel me there. Y'all got to say something.
I mean, you taking over, man.
Hey, I don't have daughters. So
yeah. I mean, my question would be: do you think that is more of a media televised, where this all came from, the angry black woman? Do you think it's because it was, it's televised? A black woman has to, do her neck like this and point and grab air and all that. Where do you think it came?
Now you can go on social media. You got somebody. I'll admit that. So I get it. It is some women out there that do that. I do understand that part, but I just wish we could, guys. I have to hold you guys responsible. Listen. I got a buddy of mine, Pastor Frank, and he came to the house one time, and we had a conversation, and it was him, my best friend, and Pastor Frank's old lady. And as he said, what makes you so angry? I said, so many years, centuries that black women have actually stood up for our black men. I mean, y'all have to admit, we will stand up for y'all when nobody else will not. But when it comes to relationships, you guys dropped the ball. And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just talking about some black men. As a single black woman, I have prayed. My kneecaps probably about to fall off now from praying so much just for a man, a black man, to understand my pain. When I say my pain, this is what I mean. I remember so many years ago, I finally told my daughter's father, where all that pain came from. It came from being abused as a child. We in church during this time. He was rubbing my back and everything, and this nigga didn't say anything about the words that I wanted to hear. I got you. You ain't got the hurt no more. I got you. This son of a gun said, you need therapy. Something wrong with you. You crazy. I'm in church now crying my soul out. When the Holy Ghost hits you and all that pain gets look, you see why I ain't with him to this day. Like, really? So for me, I can't tell you my whole story of my life story now, but what I'm saying is just to meet that black guy that says, you're not angry. You just need somebody to say, I got you, and actually show it. And I'm not talking about financially, because I don't need that. I just need the other part of those ribs, Adam and Eve. I just need him there to say, I got you, baby. I got you.
I hear you. I hear you. But I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I got married when I was 19, and I couldn't even have that conversation back then. I was way immature, and I just learned how to be correct like a year ago. I'm 40. So I just learned it like a year ago to ask the right questions, ask the proper questions, or whatever. I probably would have gave you the same advice because I didn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's not an excuse for me. It's just like, I don't know. Hey, you got a problem. Like, it's very hard for men to have that empathy or understand how to deal with stuff. Like even when funerals and stuff, man, I don't even think we know exactly. Like, we don't know how to communicate the right words or communicate that empathy or that feeling that you need. Mm-hmm. So it's not that we don't want to help. It's just that naturally we don't know how to help all the time. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what contributes to what is being perceived in this conversation as anger, which is really more so frustration, because we'll get frustrated because we want that emotional connection with our partner. And because men, you guys have been told since you were kids to shut up and don't cry. So what happens with that is that your kid is shut up and don't cry. So you're taught very early on not to express your emotions. But unfortunately, when you get involved in a relationship with someone, now you don't know how to express how you feel, and you don't know how to be receptive to how she is feeling either. So that is also where some of that, that anger thing is coming from, because we want that emotional support from our spouses, and there's a disconnect there.
So do you believe that it's because you got two broken people?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You got a woman.
We're not learning how to talk. Yeah.
You got a woman that might be emotionally broken, sexually abused.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you got a man over here that just been physically beat, by the police or whoever, because I mean, me being a man, I'm coming from a totally different perspective. And, like I said, I cut hair in the barbershop. So I'm gonna go straight barbershop, and I cut hair with women in the shop. And that was always, one of the women, men this, we don't like this. Women, we don't like that. Mm-hmm. But where do we come, to try to mend that, because on
communication.
On one end,
in
one
spaces
person
like this, in spaces like this, absolutely.
I think one of my things that I pray and hope happens is that platforms like this with black men, and I'm gonna say, I know I keep using the word black, but hey, I love my black men. That's just what that is. But I think men need to understand that it is okay to be vulnerable, true enough, you guys have to find and you guys are married, but I'm saying men have to find that woman that they're able to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable. But understand that women, grown women, understand that it's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to say, I'm sorry. It's okay for you to say, I don't know how to do that. And when those type of words and conversations get to happening, and then you can, whether it's him or her, can unravel all that baggage that they're bringing along. And I also want men to understand, don't be afraid of a woman who has some baggage. Talk about it for you know if you'll be able to hold it on your shoulder. If not, be honest enough to say, hey, I can't deal with that. So that's only fair. But do not throw her away just because she might say, I was abused. Well, get her to talk about that abuse and see if you can help her with that.
But what about that man with all that baggage? We don't.
It's same thing. Same thing. Talk, hey, trust me. Talk about it. It's the best thing you can do. And that's
yeah. Conversations do need to be had. It's just that unfortunately, when we're younger, we're not taught how to be in relationships. We're taught the task of being in relationships. Little girls, we get easy bake ovens and baby dolls and vacuum cleaners and things like that. We are taught how to task ourselves in a marriage. Boys, y'all might be out there cutting the hedge or doing the grass or something like that, but we're never actually taught how to be in a relationship with someone. And so that is a huge part of that disconnect. But I absolutely agree that it is communication. You have to be able to talk to someone. One of the biggest problems that we have in our connections with people, in our relationships with our boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever you got going on in marriage, is infidelity. I talk to people about that all the time. A lot of disappointment in relationships is because of uncommunicated expectations. Fidelity is huge. Fidelity is not an expectation. That is an agreement. And you have to have an agreement with that other person that this is how we're going to move with each other. But a lot of times people think that because you are in a relationship, that fidelity piece is the expectation. And no, that's where a lot of your disappointment comes from. It comes from that uncommunicated expectation that really needs to be an agreement. And so that's where some of that anger and stuff you're holding on to all of that disappointment from those uncommunicated expectations. If I want you to bring me flowers, I need to tell you that. Or I'm going to get pissed off because this nigga ain't bought me no flowers in 2 weeks. How does he know to do that? Yeah. So you have to be able to communicate, and creating that safe space for a man to be open and vulnerable. There's a lot of unpacking that needs to be done for men, for their own experiences. They show up in the world worse than we do. They don't want to come home from fighting the world, and they have to come home and fight us too. So we have to make that space for them. We have to make it a space where they feel comfortable. They don't need all that nagging and shit as soon as they come in the house. They know they left the trash by the curb. You don't have to tell them that the minute that they come in the house. Give them space. Allow them space to come into the house, to feel as if they're in a safe space. And eventually they were going to start unraveling with you. But they're not going to unravel if you are causing anxiety. Look at these brothers when we came in the room. They were nervous as hell just to get us started tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. And I will add, the saying when it says he wants his peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, always remember, she want her peace as well. So when you both of you guys both have peace, then you cannot shake the household. So it goes both ways.
Right. And peace is internal. Peace is internal. You can't be my peace. I have to find that within. And then once I got it, and then you got it, now we can move good. But you can't expect someone else to be your peace. Happiness is an inside job.
Yes. You cannot be cheating and lying, deceiving your woman, and expect to have peace. You can't.
Because I'm going to tear it up.
Gonna be a Hurricane Katrina, honey.
So I
want to say, hold on for Miss Saveda there, but I just want to add
ain't gonna be no cheating going on
from the men's side of it, man. We don't have a whole list. We just got one thing. We just want you to apologize when you're wrong sometimes. I've only won, in 21 years, I only won 2 arguments.
Right.
We just want to
Yeah.
apologize every time. So it's okay to apologize when you're wrong, Dave. That does a lot for me. what you
You
got?
know what? Earthy said something earlier in the show. And I suffer with this till this day, and I don't pray and prayed about it. But for me, I need an apology, and I'm not talking about I'm sorry. Let's get past this. No, I'm sorry, and let's have a conversation. That
Mm-hmm.
means if you cheated, I want to know why. I want to know who she is.
Girl,
When did it start
ain't none of that.
happening? And so on. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, look, Earthy lies. She's saying girl, but everybody do not receive an apology the same way. Because one of the things
Absolutely. I'm just
that
messing
I
with you.
notice about women that I talk to, they still hang up on the question of why did you do it? Because they cook, they clean, they sexton,
Mm-hmm.
you name it. They did all the head jobs. They, whatever the case may be, they rich shop. So when you got a woman that's handling her business and the dude still cheat, they
It's a
still
problem.
want to know what happened. And so the discussion that I had with one of the young ladies, like I told her, cheating is always about the person that actually did it. It might not have nothing to do with you. And
No, it
we
doesn't.
are
It doesn't.
not
It doesn't.
we are not men, so we cannot think like you guys do. Like I got a friend guy. He at 50 years old, this dude date multiple women. And then look at me like I'm stupid because I date one man at a time. And I look at him like you a hoe. You out there, you got damaged dick. So and so for me, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want no used dick. Like they say, me don't want no used vagina.
Hold
I'm just keeping it 100.
on.
So
I've been waiting.
She does not want the recycled
Let's
beef.
know your boy. Number one, he's 50 years old. He got maybe 5-10 more years before he gonna need Viagra. So he just trying to get it in where he trying to get it in. When I was younger, because just like Isaac, I think I got married about 21. But ever since I was younger, I've always believed you don't want to waste your time. And that's the problem why I didn't like now, of course, this is dating stage. This ain't girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, fiance, nothing like that. This is dating stage. When I was dating, I throw the net out. I just, and the way I look at it is my time is precious and my time is valuable. If I'm stuck with one person, I don't know who this person is. I didn't spend this time with this person. And then you find out this person is crazy or this person just ain't me. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you find good people, but they're not you. You and them, they might be better as friends or whatever, but they're not you. So sometimes dating multiple people or talking with multiple people, and you ain't gotta be. I ain't talking about sexing them down. You ain't gotta be sexing down all of them, but talking to multiple people sometimes is just getting through the riffraff quicker instead of just because I feel like if I feel like let's say I meet somebody on a Friday and we start talking and then we finally go on a date the next Friday and we cool with the first date, maybe a couple of days later you do a second date and it's like nah, because you kind of clue in on things on that first date or those conversations before the date, and then you might be like nah. I feel like I wasted a whole 2 or 3 weeks with somebody who's probably wasn't even worth my time.
The
But
whole
that's
2
how
weeks.
I was thinking. But at the same time, I guess if you want to call it game, I would come to like if I was trying to holler at you, I'd be like, look, we both attractive people. So I know you're talking to somebody else and I don't mind it. That's fine. Because I am too. I don't know if we don't know if we're compatible. So we're just talking right now. But it, as the progress go on, it's not forever. I don't know if your 50-year-old friend doing that forever. I've been a player for 25 years. I don't know, but I know when I was single and when I was dating, that was the main thing to me. It was like it's okay for people to talk to multiple people because you don't know you don't know them. You know what I mean? Unless you grew up with them, you don't know them.
And,
Yeah.
I would
it's
say
funny
too.
you said that.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's funny you said that because a friend of mine, we were talking and she was talking about how it seemed like when you're from a small town, like we all are quick to say, oh, well, yeah, we talking. We never really go through like having a conversation of, okay, let's casually date. And then let's see if we want to be exclusive and then become a relationship. We just wake up one day in a relationship. So when we hear the term that someone is dating multiple people, we look at it like, oh wow, they just getting around, but that's really the definition of dating because you're trying to see if you're compatible and see if it's any red flags you need to run away from. And shout out to
I don't have the
Brown,
energy.
y'all.
I don't have the energy or the time to date multiple men. How do you do it?
You know what? I'm not doing it, but I did try it for like 3 years. I will tell people like, nope, I'm not in a relationship. I'm not with nobody, but I'm dating you. And I remember an older lady told me she got to be like 80 now. Okay, maybe she's 70. I don't know, but she's an older lady. And I remember her telling me, Nara, you have to date somebody in all 4 seasons because people change in the season. She was like, you have to give it a full season. And if you feel like you don't know if that's something you want to do, go ahead and date other people. It's not saying, oh, you're going to go sleep with every single person you date, but it's nothing wrong with getting to know people and making sure that's who you really want to deal with. Like, I would rather date. Well, I'm in a relationship now, but if I wasn't in a relationship, I would rather casually date before I look up years down the line and say, wow, I worried about a standard that was put on how I'm supposed to have my love life go. And now I'm resenting the person I'm laying next to.
I want to say to Miss Saveda, I think for men, like pride and ego is big for us. You know what I mean? We take a lot of stuff. So when we make a mistake, like, and we apologize, like for us, that's big if I'm just apologizing. But now that I got to go through all of the steps of what I did, what the mistake was, what was I thinking, why I was doing all of that, like that like chips away on that ego, it chips away on that pride. It doesn't make it like mentally for us, it doesn't make it better for us. Like if I make a mistake, I just want to own up to it and I want to move on. That's how we are. It's like, hey, you know, hey, just like football field. Hey, you get hit hard. Okay, I'm gonna hop back up. I'm gonna make this next play. You know, I'm leaving that last play behind me and I'm moving forward. That's how we think. So if that communication doesn't happen the way you want it to happen, like in our head, like, why can't you just be okay with that? Why can't you be, hey, I admitted I was wrong. Like, why are you not okay with that?
You know, it's so funny, Isaac, that you say that. And the 50-year-old that I'm talking about, this is what's so funny. Lord, God works in mysterious ways. And let me tell y'all, first of all, I've been praying to stop cussing, but it's just so hard. But the 50-year-old that I'm talking about, why his name is Isaac as well. No lies to tell. No lies to tell. He spelled his name Isaac. No lies to tell.
So now we're going to go through your friends list and look for Isaac.
I'm like, 50-year-old Isaac ass.
We write down names. We look at all of them. We're going to have them on themselves.
But I brought that up because what you just said is exactly what he said. And it feels so good to hear other men say that because to be honest with you, I told him he was full of shit is what I told him. But the more that I hear men say that, I'm beginning to believe him now. But at the same time, men can say that, but it's never too late for change, especially for the woman that you actually want to keep in your life.
I have to say, dealing with that, what you have to have is an actual compromise. You know, you have to have that middle ground to where it's okay. These questions, where they're going to lead for the woman's side, and also for the man's side, it's like she needs these questions answered because she need to feel back safe or whatever and stuff like that. You know, me and my wife was going through some things, and it was just because we was young, and she I didn't say it on the show a couple of times. She got PTSD because she used to be military. And so after Iraq, you know, she came back and she was different. You know, we didn't at that time. I didn't know, and I didn't understand it, and she didn't know, and she didn't understand what was going on with herself. She knew the strong person that she was, but she wasn't this person anymore. And you fight against those. When that's happening to you internally. On the outside, it's me. It's like, what the heck is going on and stuff like that. So we, we clashed and made bad decisions and stuff like that at that time. We come back years later and we talk about it, and it was just like, you know, she had questions about this and that and this and that, and I was like, I was young and dumb. I didn't know what it was. The people who at that time, the military ain't the way it is now. The military is big about mental health and stuff now, but you couldn't say mental health back then. You know what I mean? So it was a different area, different times. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know where to get help. Um, so sometimes things happen like that. But that was one thing that I think one of the a pastor actually told us something like that. He was like, she has these questions and she needs to feel secure.
Mhm.
And although you don't want to answer them because, like Isaac said, it chips at ego and stuff. She needs to feel that security that she had before, or that safety that she
Yeah.
had before. But he was also like, hey, don't go too far into the questions. Like don't be asking girl
Yeah.
name,
Yeah.
her house, her phone number. you know?
Oh, no, definitely not that. But I think it is important to answer some of the questions. And I think the main question that most women want to know is why, because they thought they were enough for the guy. And if he can't give it to her, understandable, but make sure you put into play the change that you're going to make and actually walk that talk that you're preaching about. So I think that's very important if you want to help your relationship heal.
I think sometimes before the question of the why, you need to look at, is it really worth the why? Because I done seen some people make wrong decisions
Yeah.
as far
Mm-hmm.
as who they're with or who they and and like they might have a friend like, why? Girl, what you mean
Yeah.
why? You knew why from the
Yeah.
get go. You knew how he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wore a pimp coat and no shirt when you met him. And you like, he out here pimping. He had a fur coat on with the hat and the boots with the fish in it. And you like, he
Yeah.
out here pimping. Sometimes people run into those wrecks. So,
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, before I even ask the questions, is it even worth asking those questions from this person? Is this a one time thing because of something that happened, or is this just that person and I ignored it because I wanted something at that time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear from Chris. He has been quiet all
Ain't said a
night
word.
long.
Ain't said a word.
Chris is taking notes there, man.
I'm saying,
Chris is young and single.
Chris
but
ain't
he's
said
So
nothing.
you over there taking notes.
taking
what,
notes.
what you got,
soaking
Chris?
all this in. So,
Uh, I would say just because you don't get an answer right away doesn't mean that you won't get an answer later on from men. Like sometimes we got to process stuff and take it all in before we go into too much details. And same thing from a man. Like if I'm having conversations with a lady, or if I'm having conversations with somebody else, I'm always putting myself in my shoes, in those shoes. And for me personally, I wouldn't want to know the details. I think, men ain't the only one that's cheating. Like I've been cheated on before, and I didn't want to know anything. Like I don't want to know. No, I don't want no details at all. Like, hey, we moving on. We moving forward with this. That's gross. So I think if you want to know, I think there's a way. There's a way to communicate, to ask men to answer your questions and get the answers that you want. But just make sure that you're communicating that properly to a man, and just be patient because he's going to give you the answers eventually, but he might not be able to give it to you right away.
You're
Cool.
100% correct on that. I got my apology earlier this year. Well, let me rephrase that. My child's father, we have a great friendship. However, when we had the conversation that I described earlier about me breaking down in the church, he apologized to me not too long ago, and what he said was he said I didn't know how to console you. He said that I was brought up in a home where you don't cry. You're a man, even when he was a boy. So he said I never knew how to do that, and he said I was too prideful at the time to say what I'm saying to you today. And so as I see him grow into the man that he is today, I'm so appreciative of who he is today versus who he was in the past. And I don't judge him anymore from his mistakes when he did not know. So I am so proud of him. He's a great man today. He truly is.
And I think for men, I think that's one of the things that's good to hear, because we don't hear that enough. Like we hear that you're sorry, you're cheating, you this. Black men get beat down a lot, and even just hearing that from you, just saying that, okay, like we know that, hey, we could be immature as hell, and we grow up and we grow better than that. But to hear that from people, like, hey, he was this, but he grew up from that. Like that's positive for us black men, because we don't hear a lot of positiveness anymore. I made that word positiveness.
we never appreciate it.
That's not true.
Nah, that's
That's facts.
Yeah,
That's facts.
I'm gonna go back to the barbershop. So we had a guy when we used to get on him because he was a brother darker than you, Isaac, because you black. But we had a brother in Temple, Texas, and we used to be on him because he did not want to date black women. And we like, what about your mom, your aunts, Oh, they cool, but I'll never, date a black woman, because he was on that I'm not doing this angry black woman thing. And, the characteristics that we see on TV as someone that's, ill-tempered, very domineering, sassy, hostile and overbearing. So he rather go to, as y'all would say, the Beckys, because he feels like it's more easy. He can go home, he can chill and stuff like that. He doesn't want that challenge. He doesn't want to be challenged when he gets off of work. He wants to just relax, kick his head back, drink a beer, watch TV, and chill with it. But he felt like he couldn't get that from a black woman, or he'll go to that Asian or anywhere else. But he would not come to, and we go back and forth, but we could not change his say the thing.
And maybe he didn't communicate. There's love languages. There's 5 love languages, and people don't always speak the same love language. So I wouldn't say that black men are never appreciated. It just depends on what his love language is. A lot of men, their love language is affirmation, so they want you to affirm them often. But if the woman doesn't know that, here's the thing: my love language is quality time. But if I'm with someone and their love language is gifts, he may bring me a cup of coffee every day. I'm gonna be pissed, because I would rather you say, hey, let's go get a cup of coffee together. And so although he's bringing me coffee every day because that's his love language, he's giving me something. He's trying to figure out why she's still pissed off. I'm going out of my way every day to bring her a cup of coffee. I don't see that as appreciation, because my love language is quality time. He don't never ask me to go get a cup of coffee. And so that communication piece, you have to learn what each other's what they recognize as appreciation, what their love language is, because I don't think black men are not appreciated. My God, I mean, it just
a lot of them are.
They may not
I don't think they
recognize it
are.
as that. They may not recognize it as that. And if they're not appreciated, then where does that?
We want to hear.
Let's ask the black men. Do y'all feel appreciated, black men?
Hell nah.
That's all I want to say. That's a real good book, The 5 Love Languages. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to read that, because you got to know what yours is and what that other person's is.
Right.
Like you said,
That's right. And you can't love them according to yours. It definitely has to be according to theirs.
Because that's how they know they will be appreciated. So I don't think necessarily black men are not appreciated. I think they may not recognize what the other person is doing to show their appreciation. If you need to be affirmed, then you need to tell her that you need to be affirmed, because maybe she's making a sandwich or something, and you need her to say, you did a really good job cutting the grass today, you did a really good job painting the side of the house, you did a really good job washing the car. And she never says that, but she's showing you she appreciates you by making you something to eat.
We understand that we're men, we're sight. That's how we cheat, because we check out something too long. So we're very observant. So a man, we will observe everything. We would shut the heck up, be in that corner and observe everything. And that's what I'm saying. You know, hey, Confucius had it down. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, and I do and I understand. So we see everything. We listen to a lot. We might act like we don't hear you, but we hear you, you know, and that's why we can surprise you and bless you, because, you know, we understand. Well, if you had a good mother or grandmother, and we know how to shower you with gifts. But on the other hand, where are our gifts? You know, where are our, you know, thank you.
You know what? You know, I'm going to
What
say
is your love language? What is the gentleman that was just talking?
Yeah.
What is your love language?
Oh man, I
Quality
gotta
time, service. Is it gifts,
speak.
affirmations?
You know, you know, my wife knows. She knows. I mean,
But what is your love language?
I got multiple. I'm very observant. That's what I'm saying. I observe everything. So if you do something for me, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna let you know. If you say it, I appreciate it. So I have the background of police.
Okay.
So I watch. But you know, after, you know, it's like a love bank account. You know, after a while, just like you guys, you get a little depleted. So you need something to be put back in. But it's a lot of black men that's out here. That's what I'm saying. Their love bank accounts are pretty low. So, you know, that's why you might get a little, you know, mistreated, or you might get talked to a little crazy, you know. But that's what I hear, because like I said, I used to cut hair for years, and I would hear a lot of brothers, you know, they weren't appreciated.
I think to go on with the appreciation thing, I think from home, I'm appreciated, but I understand what they're saying too, as far as men, as far as black men. Just look at Mother's Day compared to Father's Day. Look at the attention and how it gets or whatever. So some people, you know, it was kind of funny. One of the churches that I was in, I had a startup of. I had to kind of complain, like, "Hey, man, we do a lot for Mother's Day. What about Father's Day? Y'all don't have a program. Y'all don't. There's nothing that's going to get done for the fathers, for the men of the church that are actually here in the church and doing things." And you know, I think from that aspect, you know, you can it's kind of that way. But as far as home, yeah, I'm appreciated. It's I feel it. It's affirmed. It's spoken to me. You know, that's something I ain't got to worry about or whatever. But yeah, sometimes in the outside world, yes, I have to say.
From society, I think that's what Jonathan was mentioning there. From society level, I think personally, in home, I feel appreciated from my wife. I don't feel appreciated from my kids yet, but they'll get it when they grow up. But in home, I'm good. It's just society. It's like, I can see how men have changed from the 90s, when men, you know, we grew up I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up 80s, 90s, where fathers were not there. All of my friends, I was probably the only kid in my class whose dad was still at home. You know what I mean? That has changed like 360 in 20. A lot of fathers are really involved in their kids' lives. A lot of fathers are there. Men have become better. Are there still some sorry men out there? Yes, there are some sorry men out there, but I don't think we're even close to where we was back then.
Right.
But the language that we hear from black women in society is still men are dogs, all men are dogs, all men no good, all men cheat, and all of this stuff, which is not true. You know what I mean?
It's definitely not true.
In that form, that's where we don't feel that appreciation from black women. Right.
So if a man cheats and a woman says a man cheats, then that's not true.
I'm not saying that all men don't cheat. All men don't cheat. Black men don't cheat.
I'm not saying all men. I'm not saying all men cheat, but I'm saying if someone restates the reality to you, she's not being unappreciative or nasty or rude to you. If your truth is being given back to you, then that's something to accept instead of, oh, that's not. I mean, saying all men cheat or listen, the thing about monogamy, first of all, it's not a natural human behavior anyway. People attempt it because of religious and societal expectations. That's number one. So it's not even like a natural behavior, but people do actually give it a good effort sometimes. And
you definitely will be married before I will be, Earthy. You definitely will be married before me.
I'm just saying. People give monogamy an actual good. We try it. We try it. We pray about it. Lord have mercy, because you will always be attracted to people. That is never gonna go away. Stop telling people you don't look at other women or you don't look at other men. You are always going to be attracted to other people, but the way that you feel about your partner is going to guide how you respond to that attraction.
That's what? I got a friend that I might need to introduce you to, because that's the type of woman he need right there to think just like that. Because, honey, he like to spread his wings, honey. And so, no, because I can look at other men and be like, oh my God, he's sexy. Yeah, but I'm not going to act on it. Though.
Right.
That's the difference.
How you feel about the person that you're with. That's what I was just stating. Because how you feel about your partner determines how you respond to that attraction to other people.
Well, when I was in a relationship, I loved him dearly, never cheated, the whole 9 yards. But if I see a man because I'm attracted to, I'm 5'2". My preference is someone 6 foot and taller, because I like to climb.
Come on now, come on.
Indeed. I like darker skinned men.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
However, I had to start understanding who Sylveta is or was in order to be better for myself. So I had to take a look at myself, and I was like, Sylveta, come on now. You want a great guy. And I had to be careful when I say God fearing, because them son of a guns, there's a whole nother show. Some of them, you got to be careful on that one. So, but my point is this right here. I want a guy now that I've prayed about it and cleaned up myself some. I want it from here, from the heart. He don't have to be 6'2" and dark anymore.
Yeah,
because
I'm glad you got over that height thing.
I did many years ago. No. The guy that actually has been there for me through thick and thin, way more than blood family has ever been, is 5'7". No lie to tell. He's treated me so. I've never in my life been treated this well. So I said that to say this, even though my preference is 6 foot and up and dark and handsome, this 5'7" Negro here make it hard for me to say no. You know what I'm saying? So I had to change my way of thinking, because it's not always about the eye. I had to start thinking about this part of it. Who has my heart in his hand and who's going to caress it gently, because everybody else was beating it with a bat. So yeah, sometimes we got to go after what we didn't think we was attracted to.
It's so funny that you said that, because like my boyfriend, and he hates when I call him a boyfriend because he said he ain't no boy, I got a man. But I wasn't going to, once I found out that he was younger than me, I wasn't going to give him a chance. I'm like, I am not about to date nobody 5 years younger than me. That's crazy. And then he turned out to be the best man I've ever got some time with, treat my daughter like she is and everything. So you're right. Like, I had to check myself a little bit, because I'm like, oh, I want me a man that's an engineer in the shop and all of this stuff. Didn't even know that I was supposed to be with a whole truck driver. So it's so funny how it do work. Like, we do have to reevaluate ourselves sometime. And then we can get rid of that black woman.
Who is Faith Love? She said they don't fear God if she said they don't fear God if they are SOBs.
Son of a bitch.
Well,
I'm like, son of a bitch.
I can say this, Miss Faith Love. I like your name. I can say some of the worst men I've came across relationship wise was leaders in the church.
Was a deacon
That's
in the church?
no
child.
lie. Girl, baby, let me tell you something. They had me where I was like, God, wait a minute now. You know, let me pop my collar because he woo, Jesus. It ain't even safe in the church house, you know?
Preachers and what's the other one?
Jesus.
Oh, man.
What's a girl to do?
Just pimping in the pool.
Oh,
baby.
man. Right.
Pimping. Do you hear me?
But to go back to earthing, because we had a discussion with women before, and that was the thing. You were saying if a woman is assertive with a man and they point them out on something, but what about if we're listening and taking all this in? I'm talking about hearing this all year, and we call you out on one thing. Just one.
Mhm.
We got a whole plethora of things, but just one time. And it just goes boom. And that's where that angry black woman comes from.
Because maybe there was already underlying frustration, and so maybe that one thing was that button that you pushed and it caused everything. Because a lot of times arguments in the home aren't really about because you left your plate on the counter. There's other stuff going on there. So maybe that's just part of what it was. But like I said, that thing that people are perceiving to be anger could just be frustration. It could be exhaustion. You know, it could be losing herself and becoming a wife and mother. So that angry thing, I would really like for people to remove that anger thing, because when that angry black woman, you are almost having an attack on her character versus looking at it as maybe she is responding to something externally.
But you still
That anger? No, I did. No, I answered you when I started. I did answer you. I said because that one thing you brought up may have been the one little button that needed to be pushed for her to do that. She's probably already angry about other stuff. So I answered you when I initially came on. But the thing is that generalization about why do y'all do this and why do y'all do that, I think it's important that if that happens to you again, that you ask her why was that her response when you were just trying to say X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You have to be able to talk to people as a process.
It goes back to same thing. A lot of women need to be able to let some stuff go. Like you can't, if you're angry at me about this one thing right now, be angry at me this one thing. You can't be angry at me for things I did months and years down the line. So, I mean, that's one thing. Like we're giving a lot of directions for the men, but we need to give directions to the young women too. That be able to let some stuff go. You can't hold on to it.
You know what, Isaac? I just accepted your friend request, and guess what? You're gonna see the guy that I'm talking about, your twin, Isaac. Y'all think so much alike. Yeah, and you know what? That's why I won't give him the time of the day, because he's full of crap just like you are right now. You know what? Because you know what? My Isaac believe in.
Bring him in.
No matter.
Isaac in. Call Isaac.
You know what?
Send him the link.
He's on another podcast right now upstairs. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you what the other Isaac believe in. The other Isaac believe in. We can get into a disagreement, but life still goes on. And my mind said, "No, we ain't moving forward until we get this correct now." And here he is talking about. He might be talking about. You want to go to the Drew Hill concert? And I'm looking at him like, "Nigga, Rob, we ain't even fit. No, I don't want to go there." So my thing, I don't know how he do it. It must be a man thing. But when you say stay angry, I stay upset until what I'm angry about is solved. And this is another thing to make me mad. Okay, let me think on it, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. Oh no, because I'm up all night boiling hot water, brain just about to bust.
And it's gonna be worse in the morning if you let me marinate.
I think the real answer is, Isaac, what you're asking is not woman nature. It's not natural to her. There are thinkers. Like she said, most women can relate to being up all night thinking about something. They can't sleep because they're thinking about it and it's circling. circling in their mind and just keep going in their mind and keep going in their head. Where men, we're not built that same way. Just like some of the things that my wife comes to me, I tell her straight up, I'm a robot. You know what I mean? When it comes to that thing, like it does not compute in my head or whatever, you know. And so you're asking them to be outside of their nature.
Come on, Leo.
You asking them to do.
Come through.
Nah,
How many times have he forgiven you and let stuff go that you've done to him over and over again? All the things that you've done to him that he forgot about, water under a bridge type thing.
That's
you
men
know,
in nature. You just did it.
That's God's nature, and we're all trying to be like God. That's God's nature. God forgives you and whatever. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go there, it's God's nature.
If you go in there and you're talking about God, and God was one complete being. We are two parts of that complete being.
Yeah, but we're trying to be like him. I mean, it's the same thing. If I can forgive you over and over again, no matter what you do to me or whatever happens in there, why can't you let the trash go? If I didn't take the trash out on time, why you can't let that go? And you're angry about me because of trash. And then something I did that night, like there's got to be a point where you've got to give yourself peace. I can't give you that peace. You got to give yourself peace and let that go.
But Isaac,
you his twin.
But Isaac, what the
real.
issue is, like they said before, whenever, and a lot of things I've learned, and I'm stating this because of my wife and the therapy that we both went through because of her condition. So whatever is an issue with her, if it's an issue, it's going to hit that issue, house, work, relationship, kids, everything is going to spin into that. So what my job is to find out what the first issue was. It's not what the last issue. It's not about that trash, like they said before. It's not about the trash or whatever. It's about that first issue. You just got to figure out a way to ask them and to have them to be able to tell you and piece down. Like Jonathan say, a lot of times I am observant. So most of the time she ain't even got to tell me. I'll be like, okay, your issue is really with this. And you're having stress from this. And you're letting it hit this over here and this over here and this over here.
So what do I have to do to let you get your peace? I mean, if how many times I got to apologize? How many flowers I need to bring? How many chocolates? How many purses I need to buy? What do I need to do?
But Mr. Ike, can I say this, Mr. Ike? And what you just said, you said how many times do I have to apologize? How much chocolate I got to buy? How many purses I got to buy? How many flowers I got to buy? You did not mention how many times do we have to talk about what happened. Yeah. That's the difference. You're not allowing her to process it, so it still remains. If the wound is still open and you choose not to dress it, it's going to remain open. And not only is it going to remain open, it's going to become infected. And so now she's going to blow the fuck up because you left the trash at the curb. When actually, if you had just talked that problem through a couple of days ago, then you wouldn't have to go through that. See what you just did. You just want it to stop. Men are fixers. So you're going to buy her flowers. You're going to buy her chocolate. You're going to do all those things. You're going to do everything except sit down and discuss what actually happened, what the problem is. And maybe that's the issue. So it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Do you know what therapy is? Therapy is somebody talking about stuff that happened years and years and years ago because they never got an opportunity to get through it or to get over it. So you are essentially asking whomever you're referring to or whatever your experiences are to just get over it. Just forget it. You are invalidating that human experience. But if you actually talk about it, this is what happened, and allow her to say, this is what happened. I heard you. I understand you. This is how that made me feel, and how do we move on from here? Because a purse can't do that. Neither can chocolate or flowers.
I hear you.
So, yeah, nobody's.
We're gonna talk about trash because I ain't take the trash out. How long does that communication have to go on? Like I didn't take the trash out. I forgot. My bad. I was tired.
If we're talking about really trash, if y'all really get into it about trash, that's a whole nother situation now.
Yeah, it's not the trash. It's not the trash. It's not
the trash. This is what I'm saying. As I feel like you guys are going around and around and around about the situation. Mm-hmm. He's saying, I'm apologizing. I'm consistently apologizing, but no apology is coming back my way. Now, you're doing things, but I'm letting it slide. So pretty much you're saying we must emasculate ourselves. We must and say, hey,
What?
I'm gonna let everything slide. I'm gonna let everything slide.
Ain't nobody said
Oh,
letting things
I-
slide. We talking about communicate. You got to, if you feeling that way, that's a man thing. We hold a lot of stuff in and we won't say. But you have to say to that person, hey, I'm feeling this way because of this. What's going on with this? You have to communicate it too. You have to open your mouth too.
And that's what
come
my
on,
whole
Mr. Leo.
Nobody's in here saying
that's-
that you shouldn't open your mouth.
that's what my whole conversation
Come on,
was.
Deacon Leo. Come
We're
on.
speaking it.
Not
Are
deacon.
you
Terrible.
gonna
Come on.
accept what we have to
'Cause-
say? That's what I'm saying. Are you gonna accept what we have to say?
They're not gonna. Sometimes, okay, dog. I straight up. Sometimes I have to break it down into pieces. And sometimes, and usually when I start my conversation, because I'm Mr. Roboto, I'm logical. I'm very logical. So I'm like, hey, look, I'm not going to say this right. I'm trying to say this, and then I explain what I'm trying to say. And sometimes it takes a break. We have to take a break because it may be a lot. So I might be like, hey, I got to come with a list because the logical brain got a lot of things that it's trying to figure out. But nobody's saying don't voice if you're hurt or if something they're doing you don't like. Nobody's saying don't do that. We're saying you have to voice that. Just like they voicing it to you, you have to voice it to them.
So I'll tell you my dilemma because my wife is outspoken. Like she's gonna tell you straight up. I'm a processor. I got to process everything, every argument. I got to process. I got to think about it. I got to think.
What?
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I process it. Like,
Are you a Sagittarius?
I'm a Libra. I'm a
He's a
Libra.
Libra. I do.
I'm a Libra.
Because
How do you think like that? I'm a Libra.
Girl,
I can't
for
believe
the
you think
last
like that.
hour, you were just saying, "I'm gonna say I'm sorry," and we're gonna move on. Now you process.
Well, I process. I mean, if it's a big
Right.
argument,
Which one is he?
What?
if it's just my underwear on the floor, hey, I'm sorry. We moving on. I ain't gonna have a whole argument about the underwear on the floor and nothing like that. If it was a big argument, I'll process it. I try to look at everything I did wrong and everything I did, everything I could have did different. I process it, then I'm ready to talk after I processed it. But my wife gets upset with me because I'm not ready to talk right then and right then. Or I'm not an arguing type. Our parents, Leo and Jonathan, tell you, our parents, they argued. And my mom would argue. And I think my dad did the same thing. My dad wouldn't argue back. But my mom would argue with him, at him. And he just, he'd be quiet. Then he'd say what he wanted to say when he had enough. And I'm kind of the same way. So that communication, I think, for some men is a little bit different there. Go ahead, Jay.
Like you were saying, you're a processor. I do the same thing. So when we process, like what you were saying, you want to just let it go. At that processing stage, you're trying to figure out what the hell did I do wrong? So if I need to apologize and go back, I can go back and try to mend this thing. And that's what I do when I process. And sometimes I go to a friend and be like, man, did I do wrong with this? Da, 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 da. And they'll be like, yeah, you shouldn't have da da da. So it's not only, processing is to mend something as well, because we don't see everything, from our perspective, all the way around.
Yeah, and we understand. I don't know. For me, it's understand. I don't like the arguing and fussing and yelling and stuff because it brings nothing. All you're doing is just shouting a bunch of stuff at each other, and it's really no communication in that. So for me, I'd rather go drive off, or think about it, or whatever. Get to myself, think about it, then come back when we both level-headed and talk about it.
Right, because your intellectual brain and your emotional brain, they don't operate at the same time. So when she's yelling and fussing and doing all this kind of carrying on, doesn't hear a word you're saying. Doesn't hear a word you're saying. Because she's in her emotional mind. So that's why it is important, like you said, let's just take some space, take some time, walk away, everybody breathe, and come back when you are in a better headspace to receive what the processing is going to be. But maybe that's why things, they don't pass, because when both of y'all are yelling, hollering, and screaming and carrying on, neither one of y'all are listening. So that's
that's funny she says that. It's funny she said that, because my process when I'm angry and upset,
and that's my
I'm
wife.
quiet.
My wife right there too, there. So she let you know.
No, that's right.
Look,
My
I'm
process when I'm angry, I'm very very quiet, and that quiet could last for a day, 2 or 3. And then I have a friend that that gets upset because I don't want to talk. But as I told him, that's how I started processing my anger because if I process it the way I used to do it, then we would probably be fighting, cussing each other out, and so on. So let me stay gone a day or 2 and then come back because now I can hear you. When I was angry, I can't hear a word that you're saying.
Nothing.
Yeah, and the same guy I was telling him, he was married for 21 years, and he had an emotional affair with a young lady in a whole nother state. And his ex-wife and him are friends today. But do you know she's just now telling him how she feels and how she felt? And me being his friend, I explained to him why. And the reason why she's just now telling you that, because you can take something to him and he don't like to be wrong. So even though she found out that he was having an emotional affair with this other woman, he chopped it up as it was her fault, the wife's fault. Well, you wouldn't listen to me. You wouldn't do this. It was all of this. And to this day, he'll say, if she would have just told me how she was feeling when we was married, we wouldn't be divorced today. You can't talk to you because everything is the other person's fault. So I think men need to take a step back also to just listen sometime. Listen and understand what she's saying. She's just trying to get a explanation to what happened with us situation. If that
But
makes
she also
sense.
needs to listen to what he said. He told her why he did what he did, so she needs to accept that. And then instead of that going back, well, why this and why that, he just told you.
Well, but it's not an excuse because that was a lack of communication.
That is his reason, though. That is
Right.
his reason. We don't get to say.
Yeah,
no, you
I
didn't do
got a
because of
friend that
That's
you really
his
need to
reason.
meet. Y'all make a good couple. I swear to
Girl,
God,
what
because he
Miss
want a woman
Isaac
just
at,
like
guys, and
that.
Miss Isaac.
Oh no. That one's off limits. Look, when Isaac
Girl,
on
no,
my
ma'am.
page, he gonna be like,
ma'am.
nah.
He gonna
He gonna be like, Mr. Isaac might be off limits.
I-
No, ma'am.
But I say that because a friend of mine. Now you have said a lot of great stuff, but this particular guy that I'm talking about, he want women to be he want a woman that can understand men. See, I don't understand men, but I definitely understood his ex-wife when he made her feel like it was her fault when it's never the person that get cheated on fault at all, whether it was an emotional or sexual. It's that
decided to
individual
feel
that
that
did
way.
the cheating.
He didn't make her
Say
feel
that
like
again?
anything. He didn't make her feel like anything. That was how she chose to feel after he gave her the reasoning of why he did what he did.
Oh, girl, you're gonna be married way before I am. I can tell you that.
No. Nobody can make you. Nobody can make you feel anything. That's your choice that you make after you get the information. So no, he didn't make her feel that way. That's
So,
just how
let me
she's
get this
internalizing
straight.
it.
So let me get this straight. So you're saying if a man cheats on his woman or a lie, it's her fault that she feels sad.
If a man cheats or if a woman cheats, they cheated because of the reason that they told you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm saying if he said I cheated because she didn't do X, Y, and Z, then you have to accept that that is what the reasoning is. Man or woman. If a woman cheats and she says I did it because of this reason, you have to accept that that is why she cheated. We don't get to say no, you cheated because of this, or no, you cheated because you're a dog, or no, you cheated because you did this. No. They tell
Right.
you.
I'm not saying
Listen,
because he's
they-
a
they're
dog,
telling
but
you.
so no. She listened to what he was saying, which was after she had their child, she stopped having sex with him. Now today he knows that there was a what you call it if you have a baby, postpartum depression or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now today he knows this, but at the time that he cheated, he didn't know. He just felt rejected. And so
That's
for
fine.
me, that's the type of communication that they did not have back then.
Right.
He felt
Right.
unwanted. But what I'm saying
Right.
is, even though they didn't have the tools at that time,
Uh-huh.
When you're married, the last thing you should ever do is reach outside to another woman or another man. Is
Yeah.
what I'm stating.
Okay.
He knows that today, but I don't think when you say that, this is what I hear that you're saying.
Uh-huh.
You can come, a man or woman can go and say, "Oh, I cheated because I was bored," or "I cheated because of this and that," and that person is supposed to accept that.
Yeah.
Nah. You
then
cheated
let's
because
be
you
real.
wanted to. That's just
saying,
facts.
I'm not saying. Well, we all have free will. We all do what we want to do. We all put on the clothes that we got on because we got free will. I'm not saying that you have to agree with it. I'm saying if he said I cheated because of this, then accept what he's saying. What is it? Because there's no reason to. There is no reason to ask anybody why they cheated if you already have it in your mind why they did it anyway.
Yeah.
Then what are you
Yeah.
asking him
Yeah,
for?
that's facts. That's facts. But for me, I would
You done
like
already
to
figured it
know,
out.
why did you cheat?
What
Because
you about to say there, Nara?
But the crazy part is, y'all, don't nobody never wake up and say, "Oh, I'm about to go cheat," and have an explanation to something that I don't plan on getting caught doing in the first place. So it's always an excuse because you never cheat to want to get caught. So
Right.
it'll be an ongoing
Right.
argument over and over because cheating was supposed to be the secret adrenaline rush anyway. It wasn't to say, "Oh, I'm about to go
Right.
cheat so I can have an explanation later." That's just crazy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right, but I'm like, whatever
Yeah.
they say, that's what it was. We can
Yeah.
do whatever they say. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
I agree with Earthy. I think before, especially if you're trying to work it out with the person, you have to. That's the only way you're going to fix the problem is to have that conversation with the man or with the woman and find
Yeah.
out what it is. So it's like, okay, I wasn't doing this right. I need to work on that. You know what I mean?
Work on that stroke.
You about to say something, Jay?
Nah, I ain't saying that. You know,
All right,
Oh God.
I got one more important question. I don't know if the bros or Chris had an important question they wanted to
I
ask.
got one question though.
Go ahead, Chris.
So okay, my question is this is for anybody. So okay, say y'all got a problem, y'all issues. Y'all sit down, had a conversation with each other, and find a solution. Take accountability for everything. You move on from the problem. Months down the line, the problem comes back up. So my question is that if that happens, at that point, what do you do?
You want to take the route that now you dealing with. I'm not in denial. I know I still got some work to be
I mean, I
done.
think it's because I've had it happen to me. So,
Okay, I can say for me. Now you might want to take Earthy's recommendations, but for me, I am the type of person who actually I want answers, and for me, I believe being very transparent, even if it make me look stupid. So for me, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only woman. I wish I could think like Earthy does. I truly do. But for one, I'm an emotional person, meaning this right here. When I have sex, I'm emotionally connected to that person. I just can't go out and randomly sleep with somebody. When I'm the type of person that I care for others. I'm just that type of person. So if someone's done something to me because of the way I love, I need you to apologize in my language. And this is what I mean by that. Me and my buddy just did an apology language. And she said the 5 love language. I've already done that years ago. But there's also an apology language, and it's an anger language as well. Well, mine, I took a picture of it just in case this came up on the show. And so place what is it? Hold on just a second. Where was it at? The way my apology is, the way I need to be apologized to is planned, changed. Before I took that test, I already knew that. I'm all about whenever you actually apologize to me, I want to see the change.
Yes.
Accept responsibility is my second one. I need you to accept responsibility. I knew that before I took this test. And when you accept a responsibility, I want to hear words like, I did it because of this. And this is the reason why. If I was in a relationship, if I wasn't sexing him right, tell me that. And let's communicate on how we can improve that. If I wasn't cooking enough, tell me that. Because maybe I had a bad week. I was working 40 hours plus I'm in school. Whatever the case may be. But I'm just giving you those two. But for me, the case is not closed until we communicate that issue that caused that break in the relationship. Until it I'm not saying beat the horse to is, the well to his dry, but I need that. That's my language. So it could be in your situation if you just be like, look, hey, I'm not saying that you cheated, Chris, but if you're like, hey, I'm sorry, it is what it is, and your girl think the way I do, then you in trouble. You gonna hear that. I'm still thinking about something old boy did 3 years ago because his ass said, hey, we good, we get along, but guess what? I am still waiting on that apology 3 years ago, man. Because guess what? He did it. He did it again.
But Sabadi, the thing is, you are in a very, very unique position because you've had all the bullshit. You've been through all of that. You are in a very unique position because you are being patient, you're being transparent, you're being open. And in the very beginning, remember, you have to have that communication, that agreement. So in the very beginning, then you need to say, these are the things that I would like. Not expect, because you can't put expectations on folk we just met. But you can say, these are the things that I would like to happen in this, in this situation as we get to know each other. And then also say, something, because I have to tell people sometimes, you know what, I've been through some shit too. So I may respond to you out of my trauma. So I may respond to you based on how what you said made me feel versus actually what you made me say. But those are the things that you're in a unique position to be able to say that in the very beginning, so that you're not, months down the road and you're looking for something that's not going to happen, or you're looking for something that he never agreed to in the first place.
Chris, my advice would be, you're young. Chris, you're young and you're single. And she's already doing that run. That's my simple advice. Simple advice. All right. So I got my last, Leo. My last big question that I get, Leo, Jonathan. The happiest word on earth seems to make some Black women angry. And I'm trying to understand why. And that is when you hear the simple word smile, like with the response you get back.
What?
The response you get back is usually angry. And I'm going to go through. I'm say all of it is not the man trying to flirt with you. Like, if you look angry, like me, I'm sympathetic to other people. So if I see you looking sad, I'll be like, hey, okay, hey, put your head up. You're gonna be all right. Hey, get back in the game, keep your head up. Smile. It ain't to. So I want to know. Why does that make a lot of women angry?
I wouldn't say it makes them angry, but don't tell me because, well, I'm just petty. If you tell me to smile, no, because I'm gonna just say, if you telling me to smile, but are you giving me a reason to smile? Why do you want me to portray this specific emotion? What are you going to make me smile? Maybe you're not the person I want to smile at. Like, maybe I'm thinking about something. Maybe I had a really bad day. Maybe I'm looking for someone to make me want to put a smile on my face. Like, you never know.
That's my attempt. That's my attempt to make you smile by telling you, like, hey, it's gonna be okay.
I don't know. I've never had that issue. I'm very, very friendly as well as I'm always laughing, I'm always smiling, telling jokes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think you're going off of that video you sent us with the guy trying to.
Oh yeah. It was a video. Go ahead. You talk about it, Jay.
Yeah, so there's a video. It's a guy. He just goes to random people giving hugs. So he saw a younger African American lady.
Oh yeah, Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, and you saw the struggle it was just to give her a hug.
Come on, man. That dude was a weirdo, man. He was a weirdo. let's just be real. He was very pushy. He was very aggressive with his hugs and stuff. Like, you're not gonna just give me a hug. You're not gonna. If somebody
Why
would did that to my wife, I would have came down that aisle with my pistol. He was just a little too creepy and aggressive to me. That,
Well, I
that
don't
started
think
out.
it's
I know it
intent.
got better later on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to me,
I don't think it's
still
intent. I don't think he had bad intent. I mean, his intent was to make a video. He wasn't really trying to make the girl happy or whatever. But I think there are men out there that do, like, even if I've had like, hey, how you doing? And then I get an ugly look. I even had to chase a lady out of Walmart. He went to the self checkout, and she had like $30 of cash that came out. She forgot to grab. I grabbed. Excuse me, miss, ma'am. She running away and rolling her eyes and stuff. Like, I almost put it in my pocket and walked away.
You let her get away with your blessing.
Yeah.
That's your blessing right there.
But the reaction,
Bless you.
like I understand. I don't want to be like. I understand that women get hit on a lot by men. I understand that men, they be aggressive towards men. But like I said, all men ain't like that. All men ain't. Some men generally care, like, hey, you're looking sad. Like the girl at Buffalo Wild Wings. I wanted to ask her, I wanted to go pray with her or find out what was going on with her, why she was looking so angry. But I didn't want to. I was scared to approach her just because of past. I've dealt with, ask them, hey, you okay? So I think. Nara answered it, but I don't know why does that make you? I mean, why do men get that response back? Yeah.
Let's be real, man.
I don't know. I don't know because I've never had that issue. I've never been. Nobody's never asked me that. I mean, I have been. Someone has said that I'm too friendly, but I mean, like my son, my son. Every time we go anywhere, he's like, if we're going to just wherever, I'm like, how you doing and all this kind of stuff. Or I love taking pictures. He called me with a paparazzi, mama, or he might say, "Mama, now don't go in here speaking to everybody now," stuff like that. But I've never been accused of that, so I don't know that answer.
I just want y'all ladies to know the girl in Buffalo Wild Wings was upset because she was outside washing cars because they had a car wash thing going on at the same time. It was hot outside.
Oh, that's why she was upset then.
And then she got to come in and waitress at the same time. Ain't nobody gonna be happy behind that.
So see how the angry lady. There was something external happening there. It wasn't that she was angry. There was something external happening. Why can't it be something external versus the black woman is just angry?
Not when you work in service. Not when you work in service. That's not an excuse for me. Because you're working in services. When you're serving someone, you're a waitress, you're in a hotel, whatever, you're supposed to stay in that zone, stay professional, stay with that smile. Okay, yeah.
But was she waitressing or was she washing a car? Was she waitressing or was she washing a car? I thought he said she was washing a car.
See, Buffalo Wild Wings at that day, they had some type of, I actually think it was for cancer that day, I want to say. They was raising money. So what they was doing was on the side of the building, the people who worked there was actually washing cars. So she was going in and out. But I think at the same time, while she was doing that, the people who were actually inside doing the waiters and the waitresses was kind of behind because it was a Saturday, a lot of football games and stuff. So it's like while I'm out here doing this, y'all calling me in for that.
There were some external factors, is what I'm saying. There were some external factors. So if the rest of the world is allowed to respond to external experiences, then we can too.
Well, I think Isaac is going off of services because myself, I have a chauffeur company. So it's days like yesterday, I was supposed to work for 8, but I worked for 21. But I did not let that client know I'm pissed off. I want to go home to my family. I can strangle you right now. I want to punch you. I'm tired of these people cutting me off. Why you cutting? You have these thoughts in your mind, but they're not supposed to show on your appearance.
Right. No, and I get that because I'm a nurse. And so, I mean, the shit that we have to deal with, not even from the patients, from the families and all this carrying on. And I have to make every patient feel like they are the only one that I have.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, so no, so I totally get what you're saying about the waitress. I'm just fucking with you about the washing the car stuff.
Okay.
That's all.
My
You know,
thing
it's so
too
funny
is-
because Earthly, I am trying to get where I sound so light and professional when I'm giving my constructive criticism, but it doesn't come out like the way she sound. Mine, you can still, I got a foot still in the hood a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like,
And
like I want to.
girl, I don't, I don't know how you do it,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get there. I'm like, I'm not hood or anything like that, but I feel like I got a little foot in the hood because my stuff
me
don't come out so pleasant. See how yours, just see how you've been constructive criticism, great points, and it sounds so peaceful and precious. And mine always come out like I'm ready to fight, and I ain't finna fight nothing or nobody.
But look,
That's the
I'm
thing.
I'm from the same place that you're from. I told you I'm from Norfolk. I'm from the same place that you're from. The only difference is that I have been doing what I do for almost 20 years. So that's the only difference. That's the only difference.
Well, see, I've been in addiction and alcohol as a case manager for 20 some years before I
Oh,
went
girl,
to
we
nursing
gotta
school.
talk. We gotta talk because you said
Yes,
you said you're a
yes.
Libra too. Yeah,
Yes, I'm a Libra too. Before I went to nursing school, but let me tell you something. When them addicts come up in my office, it get tough. Look, they already know they finna
You're the
get
boy.
it.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta forgive Oz. He being extra. I mean, who going to chase somebody down for $30? I'm gonna be like, this. Praise
He's
the Lord,
always
wanted my
definitely.
stuff paid for too. Thank you, Jesus.
Crazy.
I ain't chasing you through Walmart
God.
parking lot trying to give you money back. That ain't gonna work out.
Oh my God. It's funny she said the when Earthly was talking about the when we talk about angry black women, and you said what did you say in the workplace? Hard to work with. Is that what you is that what
Yeah,
you said earlier?
hostile, difficult to work with when you're setting professional boundaries. Sure. Yeah.
Well, I've never been labored that I know of in my workplace, but I can tell you one thing. When she came at 4:45 yesterday and said that we got another patient coming in, it took everything and God before Kiana said, "Don't do it, Miss Sylvania, don't do it," because I was this close to say, "Well, I tell you what, you can take care of that patient because I'm finna go." I mean, look, so that's the part that I say I thank God and I've been praying for people like y'all. You see how y'all get it together with that mouthpiece? And I ain't there yet. God ain't through with me yet. Y'all pray for me.
I know I ain't there because my job tell me all the time on my daytime job. They tell me, "Oh, Nara, you are so passionate." Girl, shut up. You ought to say I got an attitude so bad because I'm about to purr this last email your ass until we off this fight.
I know we get ready to go, guys, but I just have one question. Do y'all think that black women are misunderstood a lot of times?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. There, I was watching because it just on this angry black women, you'd be surprised of pictures of women who popped up. Michelle Obama popped up, which she is nowhere near like that angry black woman. Stacey Abrams popped up, and she's not. I mean, just because I was looking at a video and they were saying she was angry just because in a debate she was debating pretty much. She was debating the guy. She was knocking down facts and telling the guy this and that and this is that. You know what I mean? She was debating anything. If you see two white guys debating, it was no difference from that. So I think they do categorize you and same thing. I mean, I had a whole bunch of questions because I was going to talk to about some stereotypes that they kind of put on other people. But I think anytime they see you react, just as any way that a man would act, a white man would act in the same situation, just because you're a black woman, they want to put you down like that. That's not fair. Go ahead, Jonathan Leo.
Go ahead, Leo.
Oh man.
My name is ABC. If y'all don't know, that's asshole by choice.
Hell no. I've been wondering what it stood for the longest. I'm like,
Yeah, I was waiting. I was
I
waiting.
thought you was thinking another bad creation like that. I'm too much into music, I guess. Yeah, I have to say it's misunderstanding, and I understand too. I mean, me and Isaac had a conversation one time when he was like, sometimes he smiles on purpose, to try to give the friendly black guy look, and I say that's funny because I don't smile because I give 0 Fs, but that's just me. That's we took our different views up on it and everything else like that. So it's crazy. But I got a question. You ever side eye somebody so hard that you got a headache? Because I did that one time in a meeting.
Look,
I
I'm working from
haven't.
home, so I be side eyeing them on the computer screen all the time. Like these,
Yeah.
don't get me started on my
It was in
daytime
the middle
job.
of me. I couldn't even answer the question. I was in the middle of briefing and she said something. And I just like,
Oh, you talking about at work? Oh, most definitely.
yes.
Most definitely.
But go ahead, Jonathan. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, once we come out the womb, you know what it is. Um, Black women, I mean, they label you. They want to be you, but they still label you. They'll
Mm.
always label you as angry black woman. Black men, they label you as barbaric and idiots. Don't know anything, unlearned. So, I always tell my son, he's 12. I say, hey, you passed the stage where you're that cute little boy. And when my daughter gets older, hey, when she gets to about 12, they think you fast. They think you this. So prove
Mhm.
them wrong. We have to prove them wrong and teach our young folk, that's the main thing, going back and reaching out to the younger generation because they're so lost and they don't have the guidance that we had. So yeah, we're labeled once we come out the womb.
Yeah. And I don't think all black women need to necessarily change because that is a part of our culture. And it's a part of many other different cultures. Me and my brothers were all military. We all been in different places in the world. And we've seen other cultures. Italian women are the same way. Japanese women are the same way. Puerto Rican women are the same way. All women get angry, and it's natural. Don't feel like you got to dumb it down or be nice or be that fake smile or whatever. Be yourself, but just
Mhm.
know what you're doing while you're doing it. And don't get so angry where you black out. You know what I mean? Chris, you had something? You want to answer that, Chris? You've been quiet.
The Bible says, "Be angry, but sin not."
Yeah. Hey, this has been a great show, man. I really appreciate it. This could go on forever, man. We got some new friends here to the show, man. One more time, we'll start with Earthy on top there. Let us know where we can find you at, how to reach you, and I know you said you got a podcast coming out soon. How we hear that podcast?
It's on Anchor. I'm still learning how to do all of that. I did do like a trailer for that, but I don't really do the social media thing. I'm trying to get into it. I just do like, face to face in person practice, but I do have an Instagram. It's at the Earthy Vixen on Instagram. So if you want to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to do so there.
Awesome. Nara, what about you?
Look, I'm over here like I need to message Earthy. Earthy, good thing for you is I also do PR and help people create content, so I can help
Please,
you get my
please.
stuff like everywhere and everything. So just
I
connect with
can't
me
do
so
it.
we can get
I
you
can't
going.
do
But as far as me, on Instagram and Facebook at Naira Winay, for my actual my professional side of business. You can follow me at Simply Complete PR or go to simplycompleteonline.com. And then for all of the fun stuff, the chit chat with Naira, the appearances on other podcasts, and all of the amazing stuff that I got going on, you can go to NairaWinay.com and listen to the podcast on your favorite platform. Check out the Women's Entrepreneur webinar we did last month. All of that stuff is on that site. So definitely connect with me.
Awesome. Thanks, Nara.
Um,
Go ahead.
Okay. My platform is on Facebook, but I'm on. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Today, I just did my first YouTube, so you only find one video on there, but it's a start. So I'm excited about that. My show, we talk about things like we talked about tonight. Tonight's episode is why the child's mother, why is it that she can't get along with the new wife or the new girlfriend? And my guest was my daughter's father, wife, and who I love and who we've always gotten along. But things like that, I talk about, real life stuff like we did here tonight. I mean, the stuff that a lot of people don't want to talk about. So every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, if you want to tune in, if you want to be a guest, come through with Saveda podcast at gmail.com.
Awesome, man. When you get Isaac on the show, I want to be on that show too, man. We get Isaac.
You know what? When I go upstairs, I'm gonna tell Isaac. I'm gonna say the other Isaac is an asshole, just like you. Isaac is my best friend, and I love him so much. But let's just say when you go on my page, you see how much we love each other.
All right, Leo, man, you gonna give out your OnlyFans this week?
Oh, sometimes I hate you so much.
That's what we Nah, hey man, everybody in the comments that lit the comments up, appreciate you for participating. Thank you for coming. Everybody
Over their comments.
Yes. Thank you.
Isaac, who is Faith Love?
That's my wife.
His wife.
Hi, Miss Love. Look, Miss Love, honey, listen. If you need a therapist, I will send you mine because I know how it is to be with an Isaac. Jesus.
I'll probably be on the couch tonight. They're watching this episode.
I'm going to go get a glass of wine. That's
My boyfriend ain't came home yet. I think he was avoiding me on purpose. Like they might make her angry afterwards. I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm at home. Oh.
He's scared. He like, oh, they gonna prime her up. She gonna be pissed off. Yeah, baby.
Hey guys, last Thursday on my show we talked about child support. I wish I knew you guys did. Oh my God, that was a great show. Yeah.
Girl.
You gotta love the child support.
Yeah. Whenever y'all need us, don't be afraid, man. We appreciate you again for coming on the show. Whenever you need us to come on and have some dialect or some type of dialogue, just go ahead and hit us up. They'll probably hit Leo before they hit me up, but we be good.
Well, thank you for having me on. I was in that group on Facebook, just reading posts and trying to learn. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, that's good. All right, and to our guests, make sure you go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to our thing, man. Like I said, we're trying to build up our subscribers. I think, and go ahead, go to their pages too, and subscribe and like and share their pages too. We're all Black. We're all trying to build and start something new to benefit us and benefit our families, but also benefit you with the content and dialogue that we have in these shows. So make sure you go ahead, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and on Facebook. And we'll see you next time here on the 3200.
3200, but you already know this. Couple of brothers hard working and focused. Intellectual, entertaining for show. 3200, let's go. 3200.